Episode 2, The Sun. As I'm sitting here recording this, it was kind of a little cloudy and then it just came out, so now it's a little bright in here, so you can actually see. The Sun. Our star, it lights up our solar system, especially our planet, makes everything a lot more easily visible. We love our sun. Our sun gives us life. A common misconception is our sun is yellow. It looks yellow to us, standing on Earth, but if you were to go to space, our sun, to our eyes, in our visible spectrum, it is actually white. If we had like infrared, it would look different, or thermal, it would look different, but to us, our sun is actually portrayed as a white dot, not a yellow dot. It's only yellow because of everything that's in our atmosphere, all the gases, all the stuff we help put up there, but the sun shining through all that portrays a yellow color, so it looks like a yellow dot. The sun is about 400 times the size of the moon, but also about 400 times the distance away from the Earth that the moon is. So in the daytime and nighttime sky, in comparison, the sun and the moon look pretty much the same size. But that's just our eyes, our depth perception, tricking our brain. We all know that the sun is huge. The sun's diameter alone is roughly 1.392 million kilometers across. It's about 109 times wider than our planet Earth. Inside of the sun, to give an idea of how big it truly is, you could fit about 1 million Earths inside. Which I know I said that last week, but I just want to reiterate, that's huge. It just goes to show how small we really are compared to our home star. But compared to other stars, our star is relatively small, like seen here. Compared to Betelgeuse, our sun, nothing but a tiny little dot in the sky. But our sun contains 98% of all the mass in our solar system, which to us, that is a huge amount of stuff. But in the grand scale of things, it doesn't even tip the scales. Wait, so I'm telling you that the sun contains more than 98% of all the mass in our solar system? Yes. It's true. Back to the molecular cloud and the protoplanetary disk at the forming of our solar system, all that stuff, most of it clumped up to form our sun.
Did you know that? Now you know!
At the age of 4.6 billion years old, our sun to us seems to be pretty old. But in comparison to other stars, some stars last to be 10 billion years old, which, our sun's roughly about halfway through its life. With an average temperature at the surface, we're talking outer part, just the surface, just like the crust of the Earth, of the sun, the surface temperature is 5,500 degrees Celsius. Converted into Fahrenheit, that's 9,930 degrees Fahrenheit, which, talk about needing some sunblock, maybe a few layers of fire suit protection. It's pretty poor. But that doesn't compare to how hot the core of the sun is. I didn't convert the core's temperature to Fahrenheit just because off of the number alone, it's really hot. That's 15 million degrees Celsius for the core. The reason it's so hot at the core is because that's where all the energy is produced by nuclear fusion, the fusion of hydrogen to helium. When all the hydrogen is consumed by our sun, the sun will continue to consume the remaining helium, what happens to a balloon with helium? They expand. Not calling our sun a balloon, but it's gonna have a similar effect to that. Our sun will expand. Some scientists think as far out as the orbit of Mars, which means the sun will eat us. whatever's on this planet, whatever's left, the rocky world that we call Earth. That transition will turn our sun into what is known as a red supergiant. We'll go over those in a later episode, but the idea of our sun consuming our planet, it's kind of like solar cannibalism, I guess. This week, gonna start something new. We're gonna call it the Fun Fact. This episode's fun fact is the light, the sunlight, the photons that were created in our sun, in the core, and then came here, are more than 20,000 years old. So yes, I'm saying the light that's hitting us, the sunlight that's hitting us right now is older than recorded human history. Those photons are created by the nuclear fusion at the core of our sun, between which hydrogen and helium creates energy, which creates light photon, which then has to bounce its way all the way out of the core. On its way out, it hits another molecule, starts another one. It's just a train. It's like a pinball machine, if you will, in the center of our sun. And it takes what we think is about 20,000 years for one light photon to get from the inner core when it was created to the surface. Then things get crazy, because that's when light starts to move really, really fast. One light photon from the sun, and the amount of time it takes to get from there to here, is considerably smaller than what it takes for that one photon to get from the core of the sun to the surface of the sun. One light photon from the surface of the sun to the surface of our planet Earth, 8 minutes. Just like that. Compared to 20,000 years. That's pretty quick, I'd like to think. If we could harness that and be able to move that fast, we would be able to explore our cosmos, which would be pretty cool if you ask me. Alright, episode 2, we've been going over the sun. So, let's recap over what we've learned this episode. Common misconception that our sun's yellow. It actually shines white in our visual spectrum. It's roughly 400 times the size of the moon, 400 times away that the moon is from the Earth. That's why solar eclipses look awesome. And there's actually supposed to be a solar eclipse sometime this year. I will have an episode closer to that date in preparation for that. Hopefully I'll get some cool footage for that. That would be awesome. The sun, 109 times wider than the Earth. Pretty wide, pretty big, but smaller compared to some of the other stars that I showed you earlier. About 98% of all the mass in our solar system is our sun. It's about 4.6 billion years old, which is old to us. But stars last around 10 billion years. So we think. That's all we know. We're just humans, we only know so much. The surface gets really, really hot. 9,930 degrees Fahrenheit on the surface. The core, about 15 million degrees Celsius, which we all know Celsius, takes about 8 minutes for light to get here from the sun, the surface. That was our fun fact for the day. And 20,000 years for those photons to reach from the core to the surface of the sun. So 20,000 years and 8 minutes old. That's how old the photons that are hitting us right now are. Roughly. Next week, we're gonna come home. We're gonna talk about the bright blue ball in the sky, our planet, Earth. We have our liquid oceans, our species, every other species on this planet lives here. We haven't, found another one like us. It's home. Home sweet home. We all love Earth. Earth is one of a kind so that we know of. As always, thank you for watching. If you could please give a like, a comment, and a subscribe below, it would really mean a lot. I really appreciate it. Any and all feedback helps, whether it be positive or negative. I prefer the positive, but, you know, it is what it is. And as always, I would like to say, keep your eyes up, and check out the shirt. Just for today, I'm just one big frickin' ray of sunshine, aren't I? Thanks, guys. Have a good one.